Now for the real deal New England feel.
I went off the rails. My wife told me I would be ashamed of myself.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
CORSO and CATONE.
Welcome into CORSO and CATONE, the real deal New England feel. I'm CORSO. CATONE is here. Looking awfully blue today, Mark.
Yes.
And Joe's with us in the booth. You are listening on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you podcast. Or you can watch us on YouTube, and make sure when you're on YouTube, Joe's got it up there right now. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up, like the show. That's what we're looking for. Leave a comment. We will play it. And you can give us a call and heated hotline, 855-313-PATS, P-A-T-S. Message line 24/7. Leave a message, or you can email us in our mailbag, corso.catone@gmail.com. Hey, just because it's the off season doesn't mean there's not a lot of NFL going on. A weekly rewind, we're going to talk about Free Agent Frenzy 2026. Nice title, Joe. And it's back. Catone's comments is back. You happy now? Or are you gonna
time, Joe.
I know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Well, you better come up with something good then today. We'll see what it is. And of course, in B's and C's, we're going to talk a lot of Celtics today. So we'll discuss that. Hi, guys.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How are we feeling?
Is it preseason yet?
Well, it's morning for me. You guys,
It's morning for you.
Making me drag my ass up on a Saturday morning to go live, which is what we
Listen,
are on YouTube.
Pour
So
yourself
make sure.
a little bit of a Bloody Mary. You'll be good.
Yeah. Well, the comments are open too. So if you're listening live, you can leave us a message in the comments. Yeah, guys. Busy week, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a busy week. Is it preseason yet? When
Still
do we
no
open
AJ
training
Brown,
camp?
though. Still no
No.
AJ Brown.
No, you're not going to get him. Well, we'll talk about it. I'll tell you when we're going to get him, because I still think we're going to get him.
Well, we're going to do that. We're going to do it now, and we're going to talk about NFL free agency, and we're going to do it in Weekly Rewind whenever Joe's ready. Going back through the week, about a weekly rewind.
It's just a great group of guys. We were really intentional about the type of player that we wanted to bring in, similar to last year, and we feel like we were able to accomplish that again, also while still improving the team. It's obviously hard to make it that far, and so again, just being intentional with your process and being open and honest about your needs and what type of players that you have, because when you have a run like we had this year, it's probably easy to fall in love with, this guy or that guy that maybe overachieved a little bit, but I think you have to be honest about where they're at. And, again, we expect a lot of internal improvement on the roster, and we're excited to see what these guys can do. I think it's important to add good players to the team. We were going through this the other day, the whole idea of a number one receiver, like how many of them are there in the NFL? There's maybe half the teams have one. So,
And we don't.
I don't know, if that's a prerequisite for being a good football team. In my experience, it hasn't been. I think as long as you have a lot of good players and diverse skill sets like we have, then, that stuff kind of takes care of itself.
Yeah, and if you're
That's
hearing...
your favorite guy. That's your favorite guy.
If you're hearing the little weasel, if you're hearing Elliot Wolf, that means it's free agency time. Talking about, number one, it's not really a prerequisite to needing for a championship, and because all the championships he's won,
Yeah, he's won a lot of them.
Yeah, he's won a ton, right? As a GM. So you don't need a number one, according to Elliot Wolf. So that was Elliot Wolf discussing free agency and discussing a number one receiver. And want to meet a couple of the guys we already got, Mark?
Yeah, let's do it.
Was really confident and comfortable. He never looked stressed. And you would look and see some younger players maybe at the same position, and they'd be sweating before the play was started. They were making checks and everything else and running. And Kevin just always had a very calm, confident demeanor and was an excellent player for us.
I just think that the culture of this team, this organization, obviously a winning culture, but I think the pieces that they have in place, whether it's the quarterback, the secondary, all those things, I think it makes it very attractive for any free agent want to come here. So I think it was a fairly easy decision.
I spoke with Drake. He is an amazing person to be around. I love his personality. I just love who he is as a person. Structure from the top down. It was a great opportunity. I felt like I couldn't pass on.
He's a real player's coach, and I felt that from him in the conversations that we've had. He said he takes really good care of the guys, and the one thing that he really instilled in me, he was saying that you get out what you put in. And he said, like, you treat us right, we'll treat you right.
Just the winning culture that this place has had. Playing against these guys, I've seen it firsthand.
What he's done in his past, what he's done last year, how he motivates the guys, his name around the league, it's like that damn embrace. You know what I mean? Like, family oriented. But you can see deep in my eyes, like, you won't have to earn his respect.
Okay, so that was a little compilation of course, Mike Vrabel and Dobbs, Romeo Dobbs, Tucker, Vera Tucker, Bayard, and a couple other guys talking about coming to the New England Patriots, Mark. So, and of course, Vrabel was talking about Kevin Bayard, who he had. Is it Bayard?
I'm not sure how you actually pronounce it. We'll figure that out before the season starts. That's for sure.
It's Bayard.
Yeah. What are you? You don't know.
Just go pick off the passes. That's it. Just go play in the secondary, Kevin. We'll call. I don't like when people do that though on shows and stuff. When they call them by their first name, like they're best friends.
Yeah, they're good friends. Yeah.
Anyway, so that was Vrabel talking about him, and then some of the other guys discussing being in New England. All right, Mark. So let's go through some of this stuff. Well, let's start with Romeo Dobbs. This is who you want to begin with because this has been the big talk about free agency and, getting a number one receiver. You heard from Elliott Wolf in that first cut that, not necessary.
By the way, let me interject with this real quick. I Googled it right now. Right after he said his comments, I Googled which team in the NFL didn't have a number one wide receiver and still won the Super Bowl. And out of 60,
New England. It was
3 teams. It lists 3 teams.
You know who they were?
New England,
New England.
2000 Baltimore Ravens, 2001 Patriots, 2007 Giants. Out of 60, you know what I mean?
Good stat, Joe. That's good. That's a good find.
A good stat, Joe.
So well, there
maybe
you go.
Maybe we should send that to Elliott Wolf.
So, okay, Mark, let's talk about this, the wide receiver. Talk about Dobbs. Now.
So go ahead, Chris.
Well, here's his numbers, okay? So he had out of 85. Now, the targets are important, too. I think they matter. But last year he had 85 targets, 55 catches, 724 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 drops. Average was 12.2 a catch. And just comparatively speaking to who they say he's replacing, which I don't find this apples to apples, but Diggs had 102 targets, 85 catches, 1,000 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So go ahead, Mark. What do you think of this?
Those stats, you need to put an asterisk next to those stats for Dobbs because Love got hurt, right? So if Love doesn't get hurt, he probably has as many yards, maybe more. He has as many, if not more, than that. He'll end up with more than Diggs had. And he already had more touchdowns. You could probably add at least a couple of more touchdowns to that as well, which would have driven his price up in free agency if that did happen, probably.
You're already dreaming. You're already starting to dream.
I'm not dreaming. Listen, go back, Joe. I want you to pull some statistics, Joe. Go find out when Go find out when Dobbs was drafted, what year he was drafted, and then go into our show for that year and pull our pre-draft. 22. Pull our pre-draft analysis of the wide receivers, and you will hear me say, I like this kid Dobbs, 4th round. I take a flyer on him. I think he could be a good receiver. I said 4th round. Yeah, he was a 4th round pick. Green Bay took him. Okay, fine. But I mentioned him. He's not a number 1, Chris. I'm not saying he's a number 1. He's not a number 1.
You've been hurting your hand, patting yourself on the back.
I'm not patting myself on the back.
You've been telling. This is the 6th time I've heard that. What a commercial for yourself. Jesus
I'm trying to get us into their draft room. I got to do something. I'm trying to get us in there. Come on, right? But listen. But Chris. He's not a number 1, right? So no. Wolf says, this guy's not a number 1, Chris. I think he's a solid number 2 if you get a number 1, but he's not enough. I mean, is he our number 1? And I hate how people say that. Is he your number 1? Well, yeah, right now he is because we don't have one, but he's not.
We don't believe in a number 1 system.
We don't believe in a number 1 system, but he's really a 2. if that's what he is. I think he's a solid player. He's got, he'll make plays. He'll catch balls. He can get some separation, it's at times on, in certain coverages, but he's not a true one, Chris. No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. The way I'll look at it in football terms is this, okay? He's your guy. He's a guy that's going to get all that. So when you compare him to Diggs, okay,
yep.
and you say, okay, well, he could do the similar things.
He can do some similar things.
He can sit down in zones. He can run the shallow routes. He can run the undercuts. He can run those shallow in cuts. He can run those comeback routes, those back shoulder throws, an intermediate route runner that way. And different than Diggs is the guy that he can still once in a while take the top off a little bit and get down the field.
He can.
The key to Dobbs is having someone that can play over the top of him. That's the biggest key to having success. If he's got a guy that can play over the top, like, I don't know, A.J. Brown, say, somebody like that, or Brian Thomas Jr., perhaps,
know what's funny, Chris? Brian Thomas Jr., the GM for Jacksonville, said, no one has given us any offers for him. But yet, everyone is saying they'd be willing to listen. Just pick up the phone and call him.
Right. Well, this is what Orlovsky had to say about Dobbs.
Four young stars that they have that are really skill position guys are their future. We saw Kayshon Boutte take a huge jump this year when it comes to down the field, big-bodied. You can kind of be the splash play type of guy that took the top off of a defense in many ways. And then you think about Travion Henderson, who's going to be their second-year back that became a focal point of their run game and their explosive element in the run game. Kyle Williams and the one-on-one take-your-shot down the field guy. And now Romeo Dobbs, and Lewis is right, and so is J-Mac and MK on what he is. Do you get open at the line of scrimmage? He does. Do you get open at the top of routes? He does. Do you catch the ball on a consistent and strong basis with your hands? He does. I think, and if you think about Josh McDaniels in New England as their play caller, he's always notorious for, I don't need one, I need 4 or 5. That's kind of the way he goes about calling his offense. It's matchup-based. This is another matchup weapon for this offense, and I love it.
So,
in addition to that, Steve Smith, who I think when he's eligible will be a Hall of Fame wide receiver, said that Dobbs, Chris, is Dubs, another guy. How do you pronounce it? Dubs, whatever. But he's a guy who he believes was not tapped enough. He was untapped in Green Bay, and he thinks the kid has 85. He's got 85 catches in him, 1,200 yards. 8 to 10 touchdowns in him. He said, I think this kid's untapped. He said, with Drake May, this kid's going to put up huge numbers. Now, I don't know if I'll go that far, but that's what Steve Smith was saying.
Well, he got himself in trouble in Green Bay a little bit, got suspended because he was pissed off he wasn't getting the ball
enough. Yeah.
So, okay. So that's the receiver. We're going to get into the A.J. Brown situation in the next segment, but let's get to the other guy. So here's the departures. These are the guys that leave the team. Diggs, Chase. By the way, we didn't re-sign the Patriots. One single free agent that we had.
And what does that tell you? That he knew
exactly what you and I said in February of last year when we first hired Vrabel. You and I both said he's going to clean this whole team out. He's going to clear this whole team out. At some point, everybody's going to be gone from the previous regime. And Diggs is gone. Well, Diggs is his guy. But
Diggs and Chase are his guys. But he knew this. My point, too, Chris, is he knew this was a flawed team.
Right.
And they were playing with house money. So he knew that they had to get better at these positions. He squeezed everything out of those guys he could get.
He did. But Diggs, Chason, Bradbury, Hawkins, Jennings, Gibson, Tavai, and Austin, all gone.
I know you were very upset with the Tavai release.
I was. We're going to put that in the past now, Mark. That's behind us. We're going to put that behind us now.
You'll find a new Tavai. You'll find somebody new.
Sorry. I already think I have a couple. So, okay. So we talked about Dobbs. Then you got Draymond Jones, Leger Vera, Tucker, Bayard, Kevin Bayard, KJ Britt, Reggie Gilliam, Julian Hill, Mike Brown. A couple of these guys I want to talk about. Let's talk about Bayard because I think we'll get to Vera Tucker in a second.
No, let's go defense because I know you want to.
But Kevin Bayard, one of the biggest needs on this team. One of the biggest, quietest needs on this team that nobody talks about ever was safety.
Yeah.
especially in the new NFL, where this cover 6 stuff, this play too high shell with being able to still stop the run with a nickel safety. All this, the guy over in Seattle.
Now, Chris, does he serve that purpose, you think?
He does. Yeah, he does. He's a little older, but he does. He comes in, he's 32 years old. He's going to be 33 in August.
But listen, 1 year contract. That's okay, Chris. Listen, 1 year, come in, play well. Maybe we can steal a ring for you. That's all. 7
interceptions last year, led the NFL, and a lot of it was coming down into the box.
Yep.
First team All-Pro in 17, 21, 25. I'm not talking about a Pro Bowler. Anybody's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
This is first team All-Pro, which means you were the best 1 or 2 at your spot in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
That's something.
So, Chris, you're telling me he
captain.
Go ahead.
And Bears captain for the last 2 seasons. And he played with Vrabel from 18 to 23.
So you're telling me, Chris, he should be able to help with that middle of the field.
Major upgrade.
That is so desperately needed on this team.
Yep, he can come down in the box. It allows you to play too high over, and you're able to stop a lot of deep balls while stopping the run at the same time. Those types of runs in the Super Bowl that Walker had against us, where he broke them, these don't happen with this guy in the field. This guy comes down and he plays the run well. So that's a big addition. I'm thrilled with that right there. The other guy, 2 other guys, Draymond Jones and KJ Britt on the other side on the defensive side of the ball. Look, you lost Chase on, you got Draymond Jones. To me, that's a one. I think it is. I think it's a little bit of an upgrade only because I think Draymond Jones stops the run, is good against the run a little better.
Okay.
He's a little bigger. It's about 280.
Yeah. Chazon may have been a tick faster, but
yeah.
Oh, no.
So he can play inside a little bit and outside. Had 7 sacks last year. That's nothing to shake your head at. I mean, that's pretty good numbers. So listen, and then talk about Vera Tucker, Mark, the guard that
Vera Tucker, Chris. Listen, everyone says, first of all, the contract. I know you love the contract. Typical Patriot contract.
All of them were. All of these contracts with Patriot contracts.
But Vera Tucker, game day bonuses, this bonus, that. The whole goddamn contract is bonus incentives because of his injury history. Listen, here's a guy who tore 2 different biceps and Achilles. Like, these are freak injuries. These aren't like typical, he's got a hamstring, he's got a sore back.
Chronic things.
Yeah, this was just freak things. You hope he's healthy because he's
a Pro Bowl guard.
Pro Bowl guard if he's healthy, Chris. He's that athletic.
All-Pro guard. This guy's an all-pro guard.
He's an all-pro guard. If he can stay on the field and be healthy, Chris, you probably got yourself an all-pro guard for cheap money. You're not paying him a lot of money at all for an all-pro guard.
Yeah. And he puts himself in between 2 second-year players. You're moving Wilson over to center, which, is...
Well, now you figure that's a guarantee because Bradbury's gone, right?
Right. And the other thing you say, we're all assuming, Wilson, that's his natural position. It's going to be fine. We don't know that.
We don't know that.
And obviously with the Will Campbell issues. But when you stick a guy like this in between them, you watch how
he's
different
athletic.
it is.
Chris, if he's healthy, he's athletic as hell, too.
So
if he's healthy.
That becomes a pretty good offensive line.
Well, because on the other side, you're going to win. Who I would love to try to renegotiate that contract, Chris. But
or to get him to come into camp with his fat ass in shape.
But if and Moses, he's old, right? He's old.
He's 35 years old.
So you're going to have to get yourself a guard, a younger in the draft. You're going to have to draft someone, right? Can Ben Brown swing?
Yeah, Ben Brown's okay, right, from center to guard. But you're going to need a swing tackle.
But Moses is a tackle, so you're going to need a swing tackle. I'm thinking of Owenu. You're going to need a swing tackle, Chris.
Somebody to replace Lowe,
because Lowe they let go for cheap money too, Chris. So they must not have. There's something about him. They probably said, you know what, we can draft a young guy that can do the same thing.
Yeah, and I think they will. The kid from Notre Dame, we talked about that last week. In the combine. So those are the additions that have been brought in. And when we come back,
they still haven't brought in a linebacker, sideline linebacker, which you're a little bit concerned of. I know they brought in KJ Britt, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's a starter necessarily. And the guy they picked up off the practice squad, what's his name? He was with Arizona and the Rams, and I don't think he's a starter either. These are special teams guys and backup guys.
No, they have depth guys, but not a lot of starters. And when we come back, we're going to get now. We're going to talk a little bit deeper into this. If they're better or worse, this portion of Weekly Rewind was presented by CORSO Law Group, CORSOLawGroup.com. When we come back, going to continue with this free agency, freak frenzy, freak out 26, whatever the hell it is over here that we're talking about. Is the team better or worse? We will discuss. Stick around.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. CORSO Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, talk with these expert attorneys. CORSOLawGroup.com.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. All right, Mark, to continue on that point you started to make. So those are the things they did we talked about, which I'm happy with.
Yes.
And we'll give our grades of this draft.
Yes, for the amount of money that they were going to spend, I thought they did well. Because you and I knew they weren't going to spend a ton of money because he's going to do his 3-year and then he resets and he's going to stay under a certain number, which I think they pretty much are pretty close to that number. So we were happy with what they got. After day one, we were pissed. But then they settled in and got guys that really, I think, will help.
They definitely rebounded on that. Now, one of the things I'm going to come down on them for in a screw up, okay, to me, the biggest screw up in free agency for them so far has been not being able to retain Tonga.
I don't understand that, Chris, because he didn't sign for a lot of money.
No, evidently they had the deal done or they were working with him. The report came out. Putting the raw Steve down now.
Here we go.
Joe.
Serious now, everybody.
Mike Garafolo reports. He talked about the Patriots had a deal almost done with Tonga at the end of the season, broke down at the last minute. When they re-engaged in the NFL Combine, the price went up. I mean, his agents went around, found out that he had a market, and they lost him to the Kansas City Chiefs. But and he signed on a 3-year, $21 million, $14 million guaranteed. It's the $14 million they don't want to pay.
They don't want to pay that guarantee. They were probably offering like $8 million, $6 million guaranteed, figuring he'll take the cheap contract, which he might have if you did it sooner.
Mark, I don't like that loss because what I don't like about it is this is a guy that when he get you know what's funny about people, and you hear it all around, is they start talking about Tonga. The first thing they want to talk about with him is he played fullback. He was able to play some fullback. Like, I don't care about that. No. What the hell are you talking about? What he did for you was he was a good, solid, big defensive lineman that could get in gaps, stop the run, take on blockers, and allow our undersized, smaller linebackers like Spillane and like Gibbons and like Ellis, now Britt, to come up and make plays in the run game, right? And it'll allow Bayard to do that. Now you don't have this guy. So that's a guy I don't know what they have in mind.
I don't know if they think they got somebody already on the roster that didn't play a lot last year. Are they going to end up signing a veteran who's still out there in free agency that you get cheap, or they're going to have to, they're going to have to dip into the draft? Maybe they're thinking, there's always guys available in the summer from veterans that get cut at training camp. I mean, but you're going to have to fill that void, Chris, because right now you don't have any. Like I said, unless they think a Farmer or somebody else on the team.
They're probably going to rely a lot more on Ponder and Ponder's an edge guy, but more so Farmer, maybe. To do something. But that's a big leap, man.
Yeah, that is a big leap. So that's a position that they're going to have to do something with, Chris. That was a big loss. And the other position, Chris, that they're not making a big deal out of, right? Yeah. Is tight end. So
yeah,
okay,
you're right.
I get. And they talk about the McDaniels offense, and he spreads it out. But a big part of the McDaniels offense is the tight end position. So Hunter Henry, Chris, I'm not even talking about the playoffs. The whole month of December, he looked old. Like he hit a wall. He played great in October and November, and he was like his go-to guy at times. But then come December, it's like he fell off the cliff.
Yeah.
And he declined in December. Never mind the playoffs, he was basically non-existent. Those defenses were too athletic, too quick. He couldn't get separation. He was finished against those teams. He's a year older. Like, you're going to depend on Hunter Henry again with a better schedule, better defenses. No other. I mean, you brought in this guy, Hill, who's really more of a blocking motion tight end, you don't have any, like, you have to address that position. We thought they'd go after Likely. They didn't want to pay the money, I guess. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to draft a tight end that can catch the football. I don't want to hear this, they need a blocking tight end, all the experts were saying. No, you need somebody that can catch the football because Hunter Henry is about gas. I don't know what these people were watching at the end of the year, Chris. He's gas.
Is Njoku still out?
He's still out there, but supposedly right now his price is still a little too high for them. They don't want to go there. And he's negotiating with 2 or 3 other teams. They're not going to sign him, Chris, because he's going to want more than what they're willing to spend.
Yeah. Now, look, I understand. You can't fill everything. You can't fill every need.
You can't, but this has been a need, Chris. This for a few, like
it has.
I get Hunter Henry had a decent season the last 2 years, but I still wouldn't classify him, Chris, as a good athletic tight end that you could really use in a McDaniels offense.
It's sort of like safety. It's that position they kind of just ignored.
Yes, you're right, Chris.
Kind of ignored. Yeah, So yeah, I agree. I mean, bringing in a guy like Julian Hill and Reggie Gilliam, okay, the fullback, who, by the way, good player.
Reggie Gilliam is one of the best. If you use the fullback, he's one of the best fullbacks in football. If you use the fullback,
it bothers me. That scares you a little. Thinking, well, if you make those 2 moves, what's that tell you?
Yeah,
that tells you that they're really going to try to bolster and focus on the run game, which is fine. Fine. Listen, for those of you out there say it's a passing league, Well, a lot of the teams now are getting back to running the ball a little bit more, playing on the center. I'm all for playing on the center. Like, hey, listen, that's a pro style offense. I'm good with that. So if you can run the ball, that even if you get AJ Brown and all that, it still opens up a ton. So I'm fine with that, with being able to do that, especially if Barrett Tuck is healthy. You have athletic linemen on this team. Yeah. So one thing you could say about Campbell and Wilson and Tucker, these are athletic linemen, that can run block. So, but Mark's right. You got to address that. And we'll get to, are they better or worse right now? Well, okay, Mark, let's answer that question. Is this a better team that when they stepped off the field in San Francisco or not today?
I would say they're maybe one little tick better. Chris, I still don't think they've done enough at wide receiver.
Yeah.
They've done nothing at tight end. They lost Tonga. There's no replacement for him. They still haven't addressed the athletic linebackers. They have none. I think safety's a big upgrade. Your corner room's good. You address your offensive line, which was a major issue, the left side of that offensive line. That's better. Dobbs is an upgrade over Diggs, yes, but still not
slight
upgrade.
I'm not
slight. So are you better than the team that stepped off the field? Maybe slightly, maybe.
Yeah.
But listen, the AFC is loaded, Chris. So you're gonna, and with your schedule, you're gonna have to get a little better. You're gonna have to get better than slightly better if you think you're gonna come close to duplicating what you did last year.
And that's gonna have to be the edge. Your pass rush is gonna get a lot better.
Yes.
Now, the Bondmore deadline came and went, and Bondmore's still on this team. So he's on this team now.
I'm thinking, Chris, you're going to have to draft. Your first-round draft pick's going to probably be an edge guy, right? Because that's a deep position in the draft. Well, yes, you and I are assuming that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the case because I don't think they're going to move that pick. And the reason I don't think they're going to move that pick is it was reported that A.J. Brown is, while that's still a possibility and still on the table, now Philadelphia is basically saying we're shelving that for the moment. We're shelving the moving A.J. Brown.
So here's what I think happened with A.J. Brown, Chris. So if they moved A.J. Brown before June 1st, they were going to take over between a $20 and $25 million cap hit if they moved him. So I think they said, okay, if we're going to move him and take that hit, then you're going to have to give us a first-round draft pick when I'm moving him. And nobody was willing to go that far. So now I think after June 1st, I think Philly will now get more reasonable and say, okay, now if you want him, we'll take a second and a fourth or maybe an asset and we'll move him because we know he can't come back here. And which means you didn't waste the first-round pick this year. Or even if you said we'll give you a first-round pick next year and nothing else for him, and Philly pulled the trigger, well, you still got this year's draft pick. It'll be for next year, but I don't think it'll take a 1 now to get him, Chris. Is my point.
Now the only problem though with that is it opens up the market for other teams too now, because what happens now is other teams now come in and say, well, what do I care about my 2027 picks in June of 26?
100%. Yeah.
So now there's other teams that are going to come to the table, which may drive the price up a little bit. So while the price goes down, I don't think it's going to be a number 1 pick.
No.
And to be totally honest with you, I think the deal's done. I already think the deal's in place.
You think they're just waiting for after June 1st?
I do. I think that's what's happening. So we'll see. This is what Mike Florio thinks about.
A.J. Brown could still end up in New England. I mentioned this today on PFT Live. I've been communicating with someone who insists that the Eagles have to trade A.J. Brown this year. Based upon the way they do their contracts, they do annual option bonuses with voidable years, cash over cap. And what it does, it creates situations where you have these big cap numbers as the contracts mature, and it makes it very hard to trade or cut a player because it sparks a significant dead cap charge. And next year, 2027, the Eagles get jammed up. That's what this person has told me. They get really jammed up on their cap.
I know
and it would be advantageous to get A.J. Brown off the books now. There's a belief that not only do they want to, but they have to. This isn't the Eagles seriously intending to keep A.J. Brown around. There's a belief that the ship has sailed, and it's just a question of how they go about severing the relationship via a trade.
So again, I think that was Adam Schefter talking to him. That when he says jammed up, that's a Schefter term. You know, yeah. Listen, I agree. I think he ends up in New England, and again, I think at that point, I think that's when he starts to talk too, because you're hearing about the Rams, you know, and those kind of things.
I don't believe Roseman will trade him in conference, Chris.
No, and I think especially that's a team you're playing in the playoffs.
No,
often.
All things being equal, I don't think he'll trade him to the Rams. No. You're going to put him with Nakua and Devontae Adams?
Yeah, I think that's just the smoke screen. That's the place he wants to go. I think A.J. Brown's going to ramp up the nonsense starting in June, saying, with New England tweets and quotes and stuff like that. Yep. And so I think he ends up in New England. How bad do they need him?
Well, Chris, he ends up here. Now you got him, Dobbs, Booty, Williams, Kyle Williams, who people still like. You and I aren't, but listen, people like him. Okay, so we'll throw him out there. Falsetto. And then we're talking Chisholm, Douglas. I think if they trade for A.J. Brown, my prediction is going to be Douglas goes in the deal, because I think Philly could use him in the slot. I think Douglas goes in the deal. Or maybe it's Booty. One of those guys is going to go in this deal. I'm thinking it may be Douglas. His name's been floated out there. So that's, Chris, think of that room. Compared to, now you talk about, are you better than you were last year? Think about that room.
Oh, it's Dobbs, the best room of the division, for sure.
Dobbs, Brown, we forgot Mac Hollins, Williams, Chisholm, and maybe Douglas is here, maybe not. I don't know.
Booty.
That's a room, Chris. You're right. That's the best room in the division. Without question, that's the best room in the division, without question.
Yeah. I put that against whatever Buffalo's putting on the table.
No, that's the best room in the division, Chris.
So we'll see what happens. We're going to keep tracking this, following this with the A.J. Brown, and see what happens. It's going to be a bit now, but there's still some things to be done in free agency. We'll see what happens. Mark, somebody got fired this week in your neck of the woods.
I was going to wear my PC shirt today just because,
So Providence College, if you haven't noticed, yesterday they moved on from Kim English after three seasons, I believe. Yeah, 3 seasons with the Providence College Friars, and our Mr. Fryer here himself, I know, has a few things to say about the situation.
Oh, Chris, listen, I'm not.
You must be happy. Yes,
I am. But listen, I'm not gonna really bash him.
I am.
But no. But I'm gonna listen. I'm a professional journalist. I'm a professional.
I'll give you the journalist part, but professional.
So listen, I'm gonna say to you this. Falsetto. I'm gonna say this to you, Chris. When Ed Cooley left here, everybody was devastated. They couldn't believe. Of all places, he goes to Georgetown. That was a whole saga. And they bring in this young guy who's personable supposedly, but he really didn't turn out to be. Played in the NBA. They thought he could bring players here. And everybody overlooked the fact his first problem was he had a lack of head coaching experience. He coached at a smaller school, George Mason, never won there. It's not like he took him to the NCAA tournament and he made it to the Sweet 16. He never took him to a tournament. On paper, as you look back, he shouldn't even have been given an interview. Like, his resume tells you he's not ready for Providence College to play in coach in the Big East. He shouldn't even have been given an interview. Never mind get the job. He gets the job. Now, college basketball now is all about the portal. That's all it is. It's the portal. He has had over his 2 years, the first year he had to kind of inherit who he had and bring in some players. And I kept telling you that first year, you know what, Chris, this team doesn't necessarily fit the system he wants to run. He's going to bring in his guys. I think he'll be okay. But he never did. His portal guys he brought in, Chris, every year. Maybe there was one guy that was good in the portal last year. This year, Jalen Sellers. But other than Sellers, the portal guys were all misses. This year again, and for all 3 years he was here, Chris, he never had a 2-point guard. Yeah. Devin Carter hid that because he was so good first year here. How do you not have a point guard, Chris? For 3 years as a head coach in the Big East, a true point guard.
And it showed up, Mark. It showed up at end of halves, end of game situations. Handling the ball was an issue for them.
Yeah, I mean, his evaluation of the roster was terrible. Never could get any big men. He's had the one big guy who really hasn't developed. He never got any other bigs. That was an issue. He could evaluate high school talent. Yeah, but you can't. High school talent is meaningless in this NCAA now. The way the NCAA is now constructed, Chris, high school talent doesn't matter. And for some reason, he couldn't wrap his head around that. And the last thing, Chris, is coaching. Oh, my God. Oh, good Lord. Coaching. It was just he couldn't game manage. There was a litany of things he couldn't do, Chris, right?
They played Georgetown last week, I think it was.
That was their last regular season game. Yep.
And what the hell happened at the end of that game? I mean, that's just a good example to me.
Chris, they get a free timeout because they go to the clock to check a play. They get a challenge, so he gets a free timeout. He comes out of the timeout.
He says he's got his thumb up his ass, standing on the. I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know what that play was he created. First of all, the wrong guy took the ball in bounds. Shouldn't have been him throwing the ball in bounds. It was just a point. You throw a ball up in the middle of the paint and hope your big guy, who, by the way, has no offensive game, is going to come down with that and score? Like, what the hell are you? What was that? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what that was, Chris.
So he's out.
Out.
So King English is out. We'll see what they do next. And I got to scratch. I have to scratch this itch. I got
Go
to.
Ahead. Go ahead.
I got to. Of something else that happened this week.
Bodies ready to roll today, I would imagine.
Absolutely. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to get some guys off their feet, no question about it. I'd like to get Goldie a start, and he has been awesome, just a leader of men behind the scenes with Aaron Judge. I'd like to get him in there. I'd like to get Gunner in there again. Ton of respect for Italy. It's weird. We want to win. We want to win this game, even though our tickets punched to the quarterfinals, because Mexico plays Italy actually tomorrow. So the way the schedule lines up, this is an important game for us.
Yeah, I misspoke. I was on hot stove with a couple buddies today and completely misread the calculations. We knew that Mexico was going to play Italy and then running all the numbers with if we lost tonight with the runs allowed and runs scored and outs. So I just misspoke.
Because you were out drinking till 2 a.m. the night before.
That was DeRosa. That was the manager of the USA baseball team in this World Classic or whatever the hell they're calling it.
What a disgrace! What a disgrace! You should have.
And then he came back out and said,
"Just to sit on the bench with the guys."
And then he came back out and said, "No. I knew. We knew what the scenario was.
That's a full setup.
You knew shit. You knew nothing.
Shit. Yeah.
You know, why is this horse's ass managing anything?
I don't know where they came up with this from. I don't know. I don't know how that worked. I don't know how they came up with that.
He's an announcer on the MLB network.
Because all the managers are in spring training, Chris. So, but you couldn't have went. And like I said, I would have went to a guy like Joe Torre and said, Joe, just sit on the bench with the guys that put in a lineup card. Like, really?
Mark, this is a tournament that should have been played during the All-Star break.
Yes.
Like hockey does.
Yes.
Like 100%. When they do with those Four Nations things during the All-Star break. That's what should have been done with this tournament.
Yep. Take a 2-week break.
Disgrace.
Yep. Take a 2.5 week, take a 2-week break, whatever it is.
You don't know the rules.
Yeah.
And they look terrible too, by the way. I mean, they played last night and they beat who the hell did they beat last night?
They beat Canada.
Canada
was looking for hockey sticks instead of bats.
Yeah. I mean, you
Jesus Christ.
The Sal Academy can beat Canada. So like listen, and they barely beat. I mean, it wasn't like they did what they had to do against them. They're gonna get beat by the Dominican.
They're throwing Skeens. And Skeens, they originally thought they want to save for the final, but because of the way the matchup ends up, you can't. You got to throw your best. And that other horse's ass, Scooble, goes home after throwing 45, 50 pitches. You couldn't pitch another game for your country. You're a horse's ass, too.
Well, see, this is the problem with this thing. And
it's not like the hockey guys, Chris.
Yes, the timing of all this. Coming off, you don't see me with the USA shirt on right now, like I did with the hockey. Yeah, I was. That's the problem, is the timing of this. Coming off the Olympics. Now, I get it. It's not the Olympics. You're not getting a gold medal here. But, it's still the other countries, Japan, Dominican, these guys are taking it seriously. If the players aren't going to take it seriously, why should I?
Yeah. Agreed.
And that's the problem with this.
Chris,
and that's
Italy,
the problem with doing
it now. Chris, you hit a home run and they have an espresso bar in the nice, dugout. Huh? So when you hit a home run, you take a shot of espresso and they give you a kiss on each cheek.
Nice.
You hit a home run.
Your son should have played for Italy.
But they're into it, Chris. They're making pre-made espresso so these players don't burn their mouths when they take the shot.
So, So let's see what happens with the rest of this tournament. But I'm not.
They're going to lose. They're going to lose Sunday night to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, I fear the same thing. So that's what's happening in the week. Weekly Rewind was presented by CORSO Law Group, CORSOLawGroup.com. All right, Mark, we're back. You're back. You better bring it. Catone's comments is next.
No one ever thinks they'll be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, go to CORSOLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys.
Time for Catone's comments.
So it's free agency time. It's free agency frenzy, but we have to address the elephant in the room, Mr. Kraft, once again. We have to address Mr. Kraft once again because this comes around every free agency. Yes, I know they spent money last year. I know they did. But go back and look at the numbers and look at the actual guaranteed money. Other than Milton Williams, they didn't give out guaranteed money last year, really. And he's got this number, his 3-year reset number that nobody in the NFL follows anymore but him. It's an archaic way of looking at things. Listen, we bash John Henry and Jacobs from the Bruins. Me and Chris bash those guys all the time. Kraft is no different. He just got lucky. He had Brady and Belichick cover for him for 20 years. It's all about the bottom line, the margins. How much profit can you make off of this team and still be competitive and win? And he got lucky because he had those guys together for 20 years. They covered the fact that he don't want to spend real money. Whenever it comes time to spend real money, he'll do it, and then he's going to reset himself so the profit margin goes back to where it's supposed to be. And nobody else in the NFL has that business model anymore. That's that you can't win in 2026 like that. Now, he got lucky last year. He caught lightning in a bottle. So he thinks, see, it still works. No, it doesn't work, Bob. You better hope this team doesn't win 7 games or 8 games this year because you don't have enough and your holes are exposed. Then there was, then you talk about, we spent money. He spent money on a lighthouse and a scoreboard and what? He made some upgrades to that stadium. Why? It's about money because he wanted to bring the World Cup games, soccer. No shit, you made upgrades because that helped you bring in the World Cup to Foxborough. You're going to make a lot of money off that. So people don't that's why those upgrades were made. They weren't made for the football team necessarily. Yeah, they were, but they weren't. How about the plane, the archaic plane? This week, it came out that in that survey, that players survey that Chris and I went through, a few weeks back. It comes out every year. The players said they cited multi-year issues with the plane, lack of Wi-Fi, insufficient space. Multiple players actually said that the plane feels unsafe, borderline unsafe. Who says a plane feels borderline unsafe? You're professional athletes, and that's what your owner's putting you on instead of chartering one of these state-of-the-art planes. They got friggin' ashtrays still for the 1960s in the goddamn plane. Unless they're smoking pot. What do they need the ashtray for? No, they don't even need that. It's vape. It's called vape, Mr. Kraft. For Christ's sake, you old goat, spend a little money, would you? Jesus Christ, Chris. That's why these guys you didn't get all the guys you wanted in free agency. Because look at every guy, Chris, that you had on your list that went somewhere else. It's because the guaranteed money was 16, 18, 22, 20. He ain't giving that money. He is not giving out that real money. It's all about clauses and incentives and bonuses and guys that are going to be 32 years old and will squeeze one more year out of them. This is how he played. This is his game. And everybody blamed Belichick for all those years. Well, guess what? Look at all these contracts. They're Bob Kraft contracts, not Bill Belichick contracts. He's not here anymore. And his stooge, Elliot Wolf, is still here because he's the one who's helping him do that, Chris.
Well, that's why he's here.
That's why
we say is who's in charge of this? Who's in charge of this situation? It's Vrabel. It's got to be Vrabel. Elliot Wolf, just get some coffee. No. That's not what's going on here.
Hey, listen, I respect Mr. Kraft, but Jesus Christ.
I know. What's going on here is, the guys that they are bringing in are Vrabel guys, but that's all being run through the Diesel. That's all being run through Elliot Wolf,
Chris,
who then
Vrabel
goes right
guys,
to the.
But look at the contracts. They're not huge contracts either. They don't have to be.
By the way, I think they have stewardesses to go along with the ashtrays on those planes. That's what they call them. They have the hats. Remember how the flight attendants used to call them stewardesses and they wear the hats? That's probably what they got on that plane too.
Yeah,
from a fan standpoint, it looks so cool when the Patriots plan lanes and we've arrived.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
Cool. It's definitely cool. But come on. You're right. When you got a player that says it feels almost unsafe.
That's a problem.
Buy a new plane then. If you want your own plane, just buy another one. I don't understand. Buy a
multiple players, Chris. Multiple players.
Mark, he's worth like $11 billion or something like that. I'm sorry. Yeah, something like that. He's like the team's worth $7 billion. Jesus Christ. I mean, he's fighting with the town he was. I think they resolved it now, but he was fighting with the town of Foxborough over the security for this World Cup that you just mentioned about doing all the upgrades for the World Cup. They didn't want to pay out like $7 million because that's what it was going to cost for the overtime and security and all the stuff for the law enforcement, all the shit that the town's going to. And so the town's like, yeah, we're not giving you the permits until we get the money. I mean, what the hell is happening? They're not operating in the black yet. This team. So listen, and you're right when you say Belichick covered for them, because everybody used to say Belichick doesn't want to spend money. It got to the point where people actually announced everybody. Falger, these guys were all like, Belichick won't spend the money. Belichick won't spend the money. And you and I were the only two banging that drum for forever saying, this ain't him. Like, I don't know why people don't come down on this damn owner for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Tom Brady's not here. Tom Brady could have been there. Kraft could have overridden everything and said, here's your money. End of story. Done. And he's here. So I don't, and it's happening again because you hear these contracts, Mark. Nothing pisses me off more when I hear worth up to.
We're the only team that says that.
contract worth Dobbs. It's a contract of $68 million worth up to $80. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
And
what
you know
is
what?
he gonna do when May's contract is up? Daniel Jones just got like $40 million a year, $45 million a year. What's he gonna do with?
He's gonna have
May?
to sign it from the hospital because he's gonna freaking collapse once he signs that check. $500 million to this kid that he's gonna have to pay. By the way, which maybe he can go afford some razors and buy and shave. I saw Ray May had the beard on the other day.
He's gonna have to do like a Mahomes contract where it's a 10-year deal, $800 million, but you're gonna spread it out over 10 years because there's no other way to do it.
Well, look, Vrabel has now done the same thing. Bob Kraft should be praising on his knees to Mike Vrabel after the last season. You know why? Because the culture, all the crap that Vrabel created, not crap, all the culture and all the good stuff that he created throughout this past 2025 season came through in this offseason. You saw it because that's why they were able to get these team-friendly deals because now they're a destination again. People want to play. Every one of those guys you mentioned, we played it at the beginning of the show. What do they all say? Culture, good play. We want to play for this guy. It's a family. That Kraft loves that. He doesn't care about having an extended family. What he cares about is these guys saying, okay, I'll take your crappy 1-year deal. I'll take your crappy incentive-laden deal. Sure.
And that's why, and that's why, Chris, they had Bondmore's back and Diggs' back when they had those issues late in the season, because that's what he created here. I got your back. What player's not going to want to come here and play with a coach who's got your back like that,
Right. Well, it's not going to work for the quarterback. At some point, the quarterback's going to have to get paid.
And Gonzalez is going to have to. That check's coming, Chris. They're going to have to do something with it, or they're going to have to trade him.
Before we go to break, go to B's and C's. Did you notice that Snead was released by the Tennessee Titans?
I did.
And that matters to me in this whole Gonzalez situation. Why does that matter, Mark?
Because do you need a corner to pay a corner what he's going to be looking to make? Or can you get 2 first-round picks, Chris? Get a young corner in the draft, a veteran, and it's you can make, depending on how you want to run your defense, you can make that serviceable where you don't need to spend the money on him, Chris.
Here's the thing. Well, how long ago was Snead one of the top corners in the league?
Just a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago.
2-3 years.
That's all.
That's all you're going to get. That's all you're going to get moving forward. So once you pay Gonzalez, you're going to get a 2 to 3 year window and that's it.
Yep.
And then it starts, the downslope starts.
Yep.
Okay. So with that position especially, so my whole thing on that is get the 2 first-round picks. Go get Crosby. Send one of those over to stupid over there, Brady, who, by the way, take that goddamn statue down. Tear it down. Tear the statue down, you son of a bitch. Get him out. That's it. Put a statue of me and Mark up. So,
Joe, would you,
talk about. Yeah. No, but you know what? Get the 2 picks for him. Go get Crosby. Get your corner. That's what I would do. So, anyway, Mark, good stuff. You're right. They're cheap bastards. They're always going to be cheap. That's what it is. They're not bastards. They're good people. They're nice people.
Good people. They're nice people, but they're cheap.
They're cheap. Catone's comments was presented by CORSO Law Group, CORSOLawGroup.com. We come back. We've got to talk B's and C's. A lot of Celtics coming up.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. CORSO Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, talk with these expert attorneys. CORSOLawGroup.com.
Back in with more CORSO and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. All right, I can't talk about the Bruins. I can't talk about the Bruins.
We don't need to. No, we don't need to. We got enough talk today.
They stink.
We need to talk about the Celtics today.
Let's do it in B's and C's. Joe?
Hit it! The Celtics are the world champions, and they have shown the world how great a ball club they really are. Screenshot,
Brown, Hauser in the front court. Peyton Pritchard is waiting to get a running start in the backcourt. Baylor Shireman will trigger the side out of bounds. No timeouts for the Celtics. Down by 2, try to steal one against the champs. Shireman holding it. Inbound. Pritchard, 30 feet. Short. And the Thunder win the ball game.
Gotta look at it, and it was a wide open look.
Just a little too far away for Peyton Pritchard. He hit the 3 at the buzzer to end the first half, but he cannot hit the 3 to end the ball game here in OKC. And the Thunder survive another extraordinary night from the Gap Year Celtics. The final score, Oklahoma City 104, Boston 102.
Making contact is one thing to get fouled, but it's like when you're not even trying to score, when you're like, driving and flailing your body into them just to make it look like you're getting fouled. I think that's the part where it's like, all right, like, come on. But I mean, that's where our league is at. It's, that's where the NBA is at. So it's like get down and lay down. So maybe I need to flop a little bit more.
Okay, so we'll get to Jaylen Brown in a second. We'll talk about him in a second.
Like that comment.
That was Grandy on the call. No, I didn't like that comment. You got to throw that in. I think we've all understood now that it's not a gap year anymore. What are you still talking that way for? Why giving them an out? Why? So yeah, we lost this game, but it's a gap year. Everybody, that would be like every time the Patriots won a game last year. You could in the postseason, Vrabel saying something like, or the announcers or Zolak or somebody saying, "Well, it was a rebuild year."
Yeah,
we'll take the wins, but when we lose, it was a rebuild year.
Yeah,
that's I just find
that's
that
a crock of shit.
Chicken shit,
Yeah,
all right, Mark. This was a big week.
It was two big games: San Antonio and OKC, two best teams out west.
Cleveland, those
one
3
of the top
games.
4 in the East. Yep.
So they went 1-3, which you would normally say, losing 1 and 2. I'm sorry, 1 and 2 on that trip.
Yep.
Where they lost to OKC and then they lost to San Antonio. Now, before we get to the whole Jaylen Brown saga, okay? So is this team better than we thought, than we think? Like, how do you look at this team now after seeing them against those two?
So they're better than I thought, Chris. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't, listen, you didn't have Tatum in the OKC game, and essentially you didn't have Jaylen Brown in the San Antonio game, which I know you want to get to because he gets thrown out. So in both games, you didn't have your full allotment of players that are available to you, but yet you fought hard in both games, and especially the OKC game, Chris, where, that game, they fought and battled that whole game. And at the end had a look to win it at the buzzer. They played better than I thought they would, Chris. I didn't, so you know what? I think they could be competitive if they can get to the final. I still think OKC would probably beat them in 6. I know you think it would go, maybe even go 7. We talked about that the other night. But, yeah, I was a little surprised, Chris. I think they're in a better spot than I thought they were after watching these games against those 2 Western Conference teams. I think Cleveland's a shit team. I'm not impressed with Cleveland. So, yeah, you beat them, but you should beat them. I don't think they're that good. I don't care what their record says. But the Western Conference teams, Chris, I was impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I was too because, and again, that Oklahoma game, I'm pissed that they didn't have a big somebody. I understood they didn't have the timeout to get the big on the court where they would have been able to call the timeout to then get the big off the court for your offensive possession. I get that, but you had to have somebody bigger than 6'7", 6'8" to guard against the offensive rebound. That pissed me off. That bothered me. We gave up the offensive rebound because I thought Brown and SGA, I thought they played each other to a draw in that game. I do. I mean, and I'll say this, SGA gave up the play. He gave up the shot to Caruso into the corner where that dude was ice cold. So why he was deferring, I don't know. If I'm an OKC fan and we're doing a show about them, that's a whole topic I'm talking about.
That's a whole other.
That shot. But in this situation with the Celtics, look, we talked about this team is how hard they play. Now, my only concern is, the role guys on this team, like we talked about, the Walshes and the Pritchards because Pritchard's now off the bench, right? The Hugo Gonzalez and so on. how hard they play. They don't give up plays. They don't take plays off ever. Now, the problem with that is when you get into the postseason, nobody's taking plays off.
No.
So you're going to see another level of effort from these teams that you're seeing crap effort from during the season.
Yeah.
Can you get yourself to another level? And by the way, I had no problem with Tatum sitting in this game.
No, I didn't either.
Because you know why? I'm sitting there saying, look, stay there, sit down. We don't need to deal with we don't need to see you dealing with this team until it's time that you need to deal with this team.
I think it was good that they did that, Chris, because this team doesn't see him. Beautiful. Right. You don't know how they're going to play with him. That's beautiful. We don't
because if you get through against this team, Mark, don't you know for that 1 second they're looking back at this game, OKC, and they're saying, okay, well, we were missing a guy too, but Tatum's not just a guy.
No, Tatum's not just a guy. And listen, Chris, you're going to have to do that the rest of the season with him. You're going to have to give him maintenance nights off just to make sure he stays healthy. You know what I mean? So I have no problem with that.
So I think this is a team. I think they're the favorites in the East. I think they should be the favorites in the East. And
after this stretch of games, because even though they went 1-2, I would say they should be the favorites in the East. I agree with that.
And I said it last week, and I'll say it again. I think this is at this time of the season. I think this is a better than last year. I think this is a better team than last year's team.
Yeah.
Apples to apples. Okay. We got to talk about Jaylen. We're going to go over, but we got to talk about Jaylen Brown. We have to.
Jaylen Brown pressured along the sideline, got bumped, lost it out of bounds. Once they didn't call the foul, it was going to be a turnover. Jaylen palms up to the sky. Can't believe there was no foul there.
Yeah, it was a push in the back.
Play close attention to this. This is going to be a quiz.
Fans want a technical. Tyler Ford. There's the technical. And now Jaylen Brown goes to another official. Somebody better go grab Jaylen.
Did you hear that?
Now finally, Shireman, Derek White, they got to step in front of Jaylen. They threw him out. They threw him out. Backside official. On a nationally televised game, Tyler Ford gave Jaylen Brown a long leash, and Jaylen Brown's not done. He's going right back out after Tyler Ford. The Celtics have got to grab a hold of Jaylen Brown.
A lot of credit to my high school principal. He had the balls to throw a student out. He didn't leave it to the hall monitor.
Thought he got fouled. I think he got fouled too. He definitely earned the first one. And then I thought the second one was bullshit, honestly. I mean, it's a passionate game, high-level game. You can't throw out a guy that's done so much for us all year. And a game like this, especially.
He definitely got pushed. And, first take probably warranted. Emotions are high, but second take, like, I understand it. National TV game, two of the best teams in the league. And you make a big deal about stars playing, then you trigger happy to throw somebody out the game. So I disagree with it.
Okay, Mark, you know.
The best two-way player in the world.
Okay. All right. So let's because you and I were going at it about this. We were going at it this week when this happened. So he gets thrown out in the San Antonio game in the second quarter, who, by the way, Jaylen Brown was the best player on the court when he got thrown out of that game.
Okay, yep.
He had been playing the best out of anybody out there, including Wemby, when he got thrown out of that game.
Yep.
Your reaction, because you and I thought about this week.
Well,
you were on Stephen. You want to hear Stephen A. Smith cut first?
Play him quick because we're way over.
It's egregious, and I'm going for Janae, Doggy, because I really want to state for the record, I'm so pissed off right now. I don't know what to do with myself. This is a very, very big time for Jaylen Brown. National television, nationally televised game, center stage, and it's the first half, and you're going to eject him because he said something, and then he turned away and pointed at the ref again. Remember, he was pushed. It was a missed call by the official. But here's the most egregious part about this, Janae, Doggy. Check this out. You have a situation, the crew chief is Tyler Ford. Sias Mehta is an underling. He's not the crew chief. And Tyler Ford missed the call. That was who Jaylen Brown approached. And then the official, Mehta, he comes in and ejects him. Why? It was none of your business. You had nothing to do with the play. It was not.
All right. So, okay, Mark, your reaction, please.
Listen, it was
Don't change your tune now.
No, listen, the ref had no business throwing him out. I get it. It was a bad call. It was a foul. I get it. You want to be the best player in the goddamn team in the world. Whoever the hell you're the best two-way player in the world. Whatever the hell you think you are.
I'm the best two-way player in the world.
Yeah, okay. Well, then you need to control your goddamn self.
This is different, Joe. This is different. He was pissed the other night.
I was pissed. I was pissed, and I was yelling about it. However, the more I thought about it, Chris, I mean, come on, Chris. Listen, come on.
Yeah. Yep.
Walk away, for Christ. I get you are pissed off. I got it. But you know why he was so pissed off, Chris? He was pissed off because of what you just played. I'm the best two-way player in the world. He thinks it's a lack of respect because LeBron gets that call, Tatum gets that call, Gilchrist Alexander gets that call, Jaylen Brown didn't get that call, and that's what pissed him off.
And it was against the same team that he bitched about at the last time.
Yes. That's what pissed him off. The best two-way player in the world didn't get the call. It pisses him off.
In the world.
He feels it's a lack of respect.
My grandfather used to say to me, he used to say, Chris, you can only control you. You can't control what other people do. You can only control what you do. And as long as you do what the right thing is, you'll always be okay. And that applies in this situation. It applies in all situations. You can't put it in their effing hands. You can't put it in these jackass referees' hands. Should that clown, that underling, as Stephen A. called him, throwing him out? Well, as Mark already said it. No, of course not. Can't throw him out. There. That's the crew chief's call. That's his responsibility. He was going to let him bitch.
And the crew chief gave him a leash to let him bitch. He gave him the one test.
Just like LeBron gets the leash, just like all these guys get the leash. And that was what was going to happen. Okay? And this young guy had to come in and say, "Oh, you're out." He sees him approaching. Now, to the letter of the law, he should have got thrown out. I mean, that's it. I mean, the letter of the law says you got to get thrown out. So if that young official who doesn't have enough experience is going by the letter of the law, my point is, and Mark's point is, don't put it in their hands, you fool. This is such a big friggin' week for you. You're playing against MVP, the two guys that you're going against the MVP for.
Yeah.
Because you're number 3 on the list, and you were outplaying the first one, and you played the other one to a draw.
Yeah.
And you want to get yourself thrown out of the game, you jackass? No, that's on him. And the problem, Mark, with this team is there's nobody there. You heard Missoula after.
What the hell was that comment, Chris?
My principal, because the hall monitor, he was calling that other official, the hall monitor threw him out. There's got to be somebody on this team, Mark, somebody in the organization to say to him, "Hey, Jaylen, this is not the time for that. There's 200 plays in a game. You're going to go bitch about that? You're going to get thrown out? Look, fine, you get your first tee. Fine. That was legit. Go ahead. Go earn it. Then shut up at that point. Get out of there." And he's pushing guys. I swear to God, I think he freaking whacked Hauser. Who the hell are you doing? What are you doing? It's a Mark.
Harper.
It's one.
You know what the problem is, Chris?
My high school principal.
That clip right there, it's the head coach isn't going to be the one who tells him anything because he probably agrees with it.
No, this is one of the reasons
the best
why
player in the world.
This is one of the reasons why I don't think he's going to be here next year.
Yeah,
because he wants to go to a place where he's going to get the calls, and he's never.
He's not Tatum here. Here it's Tatum.
So anyway, but
you made a good analogy, Chris. While that was happening at the end of that game, you said to me, "Mark, it's like Pippen and Jordan." He's Pippen, and not that Tatum's Jordan, but that's what it is. It's Pippen, Jordan, and Brown's Pippen. It's never going to change.
That's the dynamic. I know we went late. I know we went over, but we had to talk about it. That jackass. So control yourself, Jaylen. Let's see how the Celtics do. But Corso and Catone was presented by Corso Law Group. CorsoLawGroup.com. Come back next week, noon Eastern. We're going to have more on free agency, Catone's comments, anything you bring to the table. We will be ready. We are Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. See you next Saturday.
Now find Corso and Catone on AM 790, The Score, iHeartRadio, iTunes, wherever you podcast. or subscribe to the YouTube channel and catch the chaos every Saturday at noon.